Hello, welcome back to The Collision. I'm Daniel Blackaby here with Sarah, talking about one of the most anticipated movies of 2019, Frozen 2. So let's talk about it. So Frozen is back. If you have kids or you've been to Walmart down the toy section, then Frozen maybe hasn't ever really gone away. If you have a radio, hearing those songs probably still stuck in your heads. But Frozen 2, I think the first Frozen, obviously has exploded into some kind of phenomenon for, kind of transcends the movie. You see it everywhere, the branding. It's a movie that a lot of people love. A lot of people, because of just the oversaturation, I think that, they're wary of it. But Frozen 2, we just got back from seeing it. Maybe what were your initial thoughts on the film?
I wasn't really sure what it was going to be like. Kind of typically second movies aren't as good as the first movie. But I really enjoyed it. I actually kind of feel like I liked it better. I don't want to
Yeah, and I'll take the plunge to say, I actually really love this movie. I think, maybe not loved, I really liked this movie. I think it was a lot better than the first movie. There's things that maybe aren't as memorable or original as the first movie, so it might not be as fresh kind of as the first one. But just as far as just the story itself, I think in a lot of ways this movie really takes a step forward.
I didn't realize how long it had been. The first one came out in 2013, and so I guess it's been 6 years since the first one. I feel like it just came out. I guess because it's still so popular now that it doesn't seem like it's been that long.
In some ways, I feel like the first Frozen kind of got like the Jennifer Lawrence treatment, where it came out, it's something new, it's good, but then then everywhere you start seeing it, and you sort of get tired of it. So I feel like, kind of in hindsight, a lot of people maybe look down at the first Frozen. It's just sort of annoying. All they remember is just, how annoyed they were with that song playing over and over and over. But I remember I enjoyed the first Frozen. I thought it did a lot of interesting things. Kind of broke away from some of the Disney traditions. But so Frozen 2, maybe, in kind of real brief, what's the general premise or storyline of this film?
It was it's kind of about a mystery they're trying to solve that happened in a forest.
A magical forest.
Up in the north. That they were told about as kids from their parents. And just the conflict between two different groups of people.
Yeah, and Elsa's kind of hearing the song coming from there, sort of drawing her, to discover more about herself. Kind of picks up from where the last one with sort of, who is she? She's different.
Why is she different?
Why is she different? And kind of, she's still wrestling with that, and sort of this pull of this voice she hears, kind of these answers. So her and kind of the gang, the Frozen gang.
Figure it out.
Yeah, go to figure it out, and you kind of get this sort of fantasy story. I felt like this one got more into like the fantasy aspect, which is maybe one of the reasons I liked it so much, because I'm a sucker for fantasy stuff. So they go in to find this, things happen, songs are sung. Maybe what about when it comes to Frozen, one of the it's a musical, and I'd kind of forgotten, I think, how much of a musical the first one was, and like, because there's a lot of songs in this, and it's sort of a staple of Frozen. You have Let It Go is still such a popular song. So what do you think about the songs in this one? Do the songs kind of live up to the...
There's definitely one song, like Into the Unknown, that Elsa sings, and then Fall Out Boy does the radio track for. That's like super catchy, and I've been singing it since we got home. The other ones were really cute, and I enjoyed them in the movie, but I cannot remember any of the lines. So I guess...
Yeah, and again, we've seen it once, so it's hard to take it all in. That's kind of what I thought too. I thought the Into the Unknown is sort of the Let It Go of this movie, and it's a powerful song. And overall, the songs, they're all really good, but maybe not as like memorable as,
But I don't know if I know.
Build a Snowman, or...
Yeah, I guess that's what I was going to say. I don't know if I remember most of the other songs from Frozen, other than Let It Go and the Snowman song.
Yeah, but the songs are all used well, like, emotional, to tell the story, or to kind of give glimpses into the characters' emotions and stuff.
I didn't think there would, Sometimes I watch Disney musical movies and I'm like, not another song. But I didn't feel like that.
Yeah,
I
I kind of looked forward to like the songs.
Yeah, they were.
You know, and so Olaf, is he still?
Still a favorite.
Yeah, because he got the biggest laughs, obviously, as you would expect.
Yes.
Um,
He's still my favorite. He's just that comic relief you need in like any movie, but he is hilarious the whole movie.
yeah, and you kind of maybe we haven't really talked too much about this since we saw it, but you know he's funny, he's hilarious, and we won't spoil. There's one scene in particular that like, we were laughing out loud.
It was really fun.
But he's not annoying.
No, he's not.
And
it's refreshing.
Yeah, and actually the whole movie itself, you know, I know some people get annoyed with the first one, maybe the songs, the repetition, they're so familiar with it, but I found this movie as a whole, it wasn't annoying, it wasn't obnoxious.
It was done tastefully.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me more of the, Abominable, some of these movies that we did like together that we've seen, where none of the characters are yelling or grating. There's not, it doesn't get into a lot of those like cliches that drive parents crazy seeing it, which is maybe a good segue for, so we saw this with our kids, and a lot of people that are going to be seeing this movie are going to be seeing it with their kids. The theater we were at was just like an army of school kids that were there. Do you think it's appropriate? What do you think as a kid watching it? Because it's definitely a more mature, slightly darker than the first one. What would you say?
So yeah, we asked our kids in the car after what they thought of the movie, and they really liked it. And there were certain characters and different things they liked, but I don't think at their age, they're almost 5, that they understood what was happening. They understood like different sections of it, but I don't think that the overall story they didn't really get. So I don't know if that. I think it's a little older, so I would say 7 would be a better age to understand it. I still feel like they.
Yeah, because there's nothing, like offensive or that like. It's not even like a scary movie. There's some sad moments, a few intense kind of parts or action, but it's not like in that way, hard for a kid to understand or should be wary of. Just some of the plot and storyline to really know what's happening. Probably need to be a little older than our kids.
They got like a few of the little storyline things they needed to get rid of a certain element that was going on, but they didn't really understand how that happened.
And the movie kind of balances the. Hey, you might not understand all of what is happening in this kind of subplot. Hey, here's Olaf being silly. Here's a song. So
you can still enjoy it with any age group of understanding level.
But. Yeah, and I never felt bored or like I feel like the movie. There's always stuff happening. Kind of think the plot's moving forward, engaging songs.
There was probably I would say there was only one part. And it was like probably right in the middle of the movie that I noticed like all the kids around us and including our kids were like. Got really restless, and that was just there was more dialogue.
Was it like a camp scene?
Yeah, they were all in the camp.
Yeah, there's maybe one kind of where you kind of catch your breath for what's coming next.
It was fine. It was dialogue. There was information being told. It just for a kid sitting there, that was like, I don't know, this is not entertaining.
Well, maybe as far as kind of like the themes, the first Frozen was somewhat controversial. There's a lot of discussion that happened around the Let It Go song and. So I think people are curious going into this one what kind of the messaging is. Like I know one it comes out in a song too, but kind of if you don't know what to do, always just do the next right thing.
Yeah, I liked that
one.
That came from the
kind of moving forward, just sort of doing what you need to do the right thing. It was just kind of an interesting message for and actually one of the songs. This isn't like a Christian movie. But it, in one scene where she's singing the younger sister, and talking about as you're kind of stumbling through the dark towards the light, just doing the next right thing. It's obviously not meant as like a Christian message, but it's applicable. I think and it's just a good message for anyone to kind of just keep kind of going through the dark, kind of move towards the light, and just keep doing the next thing. What were maybe some other?
I feel like each character had its own, like, it kind of actually referred to it at the beginning. Olaf kind of made a joke that they're all going to go into this forest and come out different on the other side.
Yeah, magical forest kind of transform people.
And it was about, like, he kept kind of talking about transformation, and like so. I feel like each character had their own journey they were going through the movie. I feel like Sven was trying to figure out how to love and be loved in return and what that meant. I personally enjoyed his line at the end that love isn't fragile. And then Anna was trying to figure out how to deal with her sister and letting her go. Here we go.
Yeah, and I thought, I don't know if you agree. I feel like each of the characters, like no one was shortchanged. Like they all got moments.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't forced.
Even Olaf got like his own.
Yeah, even Olaf kind of had a journey to go on.
To mature. He kept talking about maturing.
Yeah, and again, and I appreciated too the first one, that's carrying on from the first one, where there is kind of the romance between the two characters, but
it wasn't too much.
Yeah, it wasn't like over the top. It was kind of a mature way that they handled it, but it just sort of also the sibling love, the love for family, kind of just get into that relationship where not all love is just romantic. There's also like the relationship the two sisters have. I thought was really good. It was in the first one too, but especially as kids, a lot of Disney movies, the love they talk about is always this romantic love that the kids aren't going to even experience for another 15 years or something. So, but the love, supporting your sibling, kind of being there for them, that's something that
and I think Anna had to figure out what that meant. I feel like she thought that meant like holding on tight and keeping her safe and protecting her, and you kind of kept seeing her like right at the moment where Elsa would kind of like figure something out. Anna would like stop it because she was just trying to like keep her safe. So it's kind of that.
Yeah, just sort of letting her.
Let her go.
Yeah, let her go. We should also mention too I know some, especially Christians, are worried about going in with the, before the movie's trending, give Elsa a girlfriend and some of the stuff. The controversial first one, they don't get into that at all in this. There's no, they just sort of leave that to the side. So again, if that was something that you were concerned about going in, just know they don't touch on that. So just kind of final thoughts of the film. I think overall, we both just really liked the story. Found it.
I thought it was pretty dynamic. I felt like there was a lot of different feel. Like there was the funny parts, the romance, there was adventure, and then there was even some like sadder parts. I feel like it had a lot of dynamics in the movie, which I enjoy.
Yeah, and even kind of well rounded. I thought one of the things that I thought was good that like in some ways Elsa is a very kind of modern, powerful woman. She doesn't have she's not tied down by a man. She's kind of finding the power in herself and kind of just very strong. But her sister's more. She is sort of naive and kind of love struck, and just sort of showing that strength comes from different. You don't all have to be the same kind of person to be strong or to find who you are. That there's a range of more emotional, kind of less emotional. So it's just the way the film kind of handled all of that, and then Sven kind of he deals with some of that too, and it's kind of how to be there as a guy, and it's not just riding the the animal and beating up bad guys. That is emotional too.
Yeah, I think the nice thing about this movie, even more than the first one, is that anyone watching it can like find themselves in one of the characters. There's like some you can kind of relate. I'm sure like. There's guys that can relate to Sven, and I feel like I related maybe the most to Anna, but I
relate to Olaf.
Yeah, but I loved Olaf. I feel like Olaf was my favorite character, but I just like that there's things that like can lead that people can relate more to. I feel like the first one maybe was a little more female oriented and like girl oriented. So, but I like this one kind of works. I feel like for boys and girls. A little
and Sven, because in a lot of ways, like Elsa's like a very kind of feminist icon now. But Sven, he's not just like a bumbling dumb dude. Like
no,
like he in some ways he is like he in the way he's trying to love and stuff. But he's a strong character. He he does the right thing. He's kind of strong and there for them. So it kind of touches on all of those aspects. I thought it was really good. I think kind of you would recommend?
Yeah, I think even though our boys didn't totally get the entire story, they enjoyed the whole movie. My one son loves all the stone giants, and they both loved Olaf. There's lots of it kept them entertained, and then we just enjoyed the story as adults. So.
Yeah, it felt like it's a good classic Disney film. It's funny, it's kind of touching, it's emotional. There's catchy songs. Kind of has all the things I think you would want. And I guess as a family too, I think it's safe, but it's also I think just beneficial. There's lots of good lessons and stuff that I think families can enjoy together, talk about after. So again, we know a lot of you, and if you're watching this, you've probably seen the movie or you're planning on seeing it. Let us know what you thought. Did you enjoy it as much as you did the first one? Did you see anything in it that we didn't see? Anything that you liked? Anything you didn't like? Jump it in the comment section. Let us know what you thought. If you haven't done so, we'd love for you to subscribe to our channel to keep up with all of our video content. I think we want to thank you for watching. Hope you'll continue to collide with your world for Christ.
His father's kingdom. I can't remember the name. Is it Alderaan?
That's Star Wars. That will be a blooper, but...
What's it called?